Yep. A lemon works just as well. Squeezing lemon and water.
Yeah, lemon and warm water first thing in the morning.
Yep. And so there's so many ways to improve our health, but it starts with the most important thing we have, a decision. Mm-hmm. It's called the day that turns your life around. No doctor, no family member can scare you to changing your life. It has to start with you making a decision that I want to live the rest of my life in a healthier place. Mm-hmm. And we all have that power to do it, the power to change, and it's never too late, you're never too old, and you're never too far gone to make a try.
Not at all, not at all. Start now and that's it. Your number one more time, please.
My number is 823-5586, Owen Burrows at 823-5586. The help that you've been looking for is here.
Listen, guys, thank you all so much for today. Thank you so much to the Miss Bahamas organization, of course, Miss World Bahamas 2018, Bernice Gibson and Jerome Sawyer, the first hour. Oh, and it's fantastic as usual to have you sitting around the table next opposite me for the second hour and sharing some wonderful information we all can use and benefit and live healthier lives from, right?
Thank you.
Listen, guys, stay exactly where you are. The news at 6 is straight ahead. See you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network and, as an extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Love, health and wellness, transformation, yeah, we got it. Discuss your breakthroughs, national issues. This show will take you there, yeah. Taking it step by step, living your best life yet, getting stronger. For ya, I need a little conversation.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
My teacher say I have hate in my heart, that I am no good, that I like to fight too much. Who does she think put it there? In my house? If you question Daddy, you get a black eye. In my house, a fist is power.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, debate on the 2018-2019 budget communication began in the House of Assembly this morning. The bodies of the 3 victims killed in that plane crash in Shanty, Luthra have been recovered. We've got an update tonight. And investigations continue into a traffic smash-up involving civilians and law enforcement officers near the Sydney Portier Bridge yesterday.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC, every day.
Debate on the 2018-2019 budget began in the House of Assembly this morning. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. An exchange in the Halls of Parliament began as debate in the House of Assembly began today. Our Cleopatra Murphy was in the House for those proceedings and has the details in this report.
Debate on the 2018-2019 budget became a shouting match in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, challenged opposition leader Philip Davis to take a firm stance on whether a progressive Liberal Party government would reverse a value-added tax increase if it regains government. This is as the Minister's administration proposes to increase the tax from 7.5% to 12% by July 1st.
If the Leader of the Opposition and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, if they thought that the move we are making is wrong, then they should be brave enough to say to the Bahamian people and commit it today that they're going to bring the value-added tax back to 7.5%. Say it today. Put it on the record.
Davis says if that occurs shortly, yes, but 4 years out, it would depend on the state of the economy.
My response is that if we're in office next year, yes, we will. My further response is that in the event that there's no need for the increase, and I'll explain to him why it's not need. My projection is that tax is going to be disastrous for the economy. And I don't know what state they will be leaving the economy when I'm there.
Turnquest accused the opposition, who has vowed to vote against any tax increases, of playing with the Bahamian people. He says the budget is a departure from previous ones and will do away with waste.
We are spending the people's hard-earned money contributed to taxes on a vision of inclusiveness, social progress, modernization, generation equality, and fiscal responsibility.
The Minister of Finance vowed the Minister administration would not leave the country's finances in the position it met it in, and says the Christie administration's record leaves a clear conclusion.
Either the governing party at the time was totally incompetent and just didn't know what it is they were doing, or more likely and more damning, it knew full well what it was doing and was manipulating the public finances as it saw fit, and certainly not, sadly to say, for the benefit of hardworking Bahamians.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis expressed his sadness over the Labor Day tragedy that left 4 dead and 2 dozen injured during Friday's parade. In Parliament this morning, he urged members of the public to hold back on its speculation about the incident as the matter is being investigated.
The various authorities will report their findings and what subsequent actions may be taken in the wake of this tragedy. I caution the public, I repeat, I caution the public not to engage in idle speculation and rumors about the tragedy. In investigating and reviewing this matter, we must be guided by the rule of law and fairness.
Meanwhile, trade unions coming together to form an emergency tough point committee to address national and international concerns stemming from that tragedy. Those union leaders also plan to hold a special service for those tragedy victims on Friday evening.
A candlelight vigil is planned, and it's planned between the hours of 7 and hopefully will be concluded by 9. We are asking for as many to come out and show their support. Just bring your candle. We'll have everything else there. We want to really confront the issue, cross the hurdle together with the families, bring some type of closure by revisiting the site. We'd want you to get there at least by 6:30 latest so that we can start promptly at 7. We have met with the family members already, many of them who have said that they would be in attendance. And so we're asking as many trade unions, movements, affiliates, the general public in itself, come and let's hold hands together.
The bodies of 3 Florida men, all American visitors to the island of Eleuthera, have been recovered following that fatal plane crash involving a Cessna that went down shortly after takeoff from the Rock Sound International Airport on Tuesday. This as local flight inspectors began their initial investigation this morning. Flight Inspector Delvin Major told ZNS News Today that the plane manufacturers should be on the island tomorrow to assist with the investigation as a more in-depth assessment is to take place. Meantime, Superintendent of Police Frederick Sands says police got the call around 3:45 and had to travel 3 miles into bushes to get to the wreckage.
We did what we were mandated to do, members of the police force, secure the site, retrieve what was there, and the body sometime after 9 o'clock last night was taken to the, I think it's Freedom of Paradise, if I get the name right, Freedom of Paradise Funeral Home, which is located in Rock Sound, and were later flown out sometime around 11 o'clock to the Capitol level.
2 police officers and family of 4, including a 7-year-old and a baby, escaped serious injuries when a police cruiser, officers escorting a corrections vehicle, collided with the driver of a Chevy vehicle near the Sidney Poitier Bridge yesterday. Chief Superintendent Craig Stubbs gave this update on the incident.
A convoy of vehicles escorted by a police cruiser was en route to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. When the accident occurred at the intersection of East Bay Street and Church Street, involving a private vehicle which was traveling north which was traveling north on Church Street. As a result of the accident, persons complained of injuries. They were all transported from the site to the Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital, respectively, where they were attended by physicians with non-life-threatening injuries. Up to this morning, our communications in those two hospitals, all persons were treated and discharged. Both vehicles, the police cruiser and the private vehicle, received extensive damages as a result of this collision.
Stops also had this warning for motorists regarding siren alerts.
I want the motoring public to be mindful that the use of a siren, the law requires that all vehicles are pulled to the near side and stop. We know that persons are driving with the windows up and they are playing music or with the air conditioning on. It makes it hard to hear oncoming emergency vehicles. We admonish you that once you are driving and you're approaching a traffic light signal, intersection, busy signal, if the light is showing green, you still have a duty of care to slow down and allow and to be mindful of for emergency vehicles or other road users who blatantly disrespect those signals at those intersections.
And still to come, the search continues for those shantytown leaseholders. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6, your news leader.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil. Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank, everything we do it for you.
Accepted. You're always sharing everything. You share the umbrella, the weekend, the blanket, and even your favorite towel. We know that you always share, but not KFC's genuine big box, made fresh for only you, with 2 pieces of chicken, 2 spicy wings, coleslaw, fries, biscuit, a cookie, and a soda, all for just $10 including VAT. Easy to enjoy, hard to share.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
As efforts continue to rid the country of shantytowns, members of that special task force are trying to find the owners of properties in those communities. Minister responsible for the task force, the Honorable Dion Folk, said there is a challenge finding those leaseholders.
We've met with 5 so far. 2 of them we cannot locate. I don't know whether they are in the jurisdiction or not, but we have so far spoken to 5 of them, and they are cooperating with us. We will comply with the laws of the Bahamas, namely the Town Planning Act that mandates certain things must happen with unregulated structures.
Meanwhile, the Labor Minister said the government will stick to the July 31st deadline when all shantytowns are expected to be demolished.
There's no problems that we encounter or that we see coming up that would cause us to change to July 31st date for the Shanty Town removal. All of the timelines that we have, and most of them are internal, we have met them all.
A group of young entrepreneurs have gotten together to form the Grand Bahama Beekeepers Cooperative Society and are looking to turn liquid gold into a real asset. The Beekeepers Cooperative, that is still largely in its infancy stage, got its start more than a year ago and harvests bees to make honey. Representative Heather Feaster says it is not all they do, as they make use of the hives to produce other products.
All of these are handcrafted. Everything that you see here is made from the bee hive. Everything is made from wax. The luminaries, the snack wraps. The snack wrap is an alternative solution to foil paper and wax paper. It can be used to cover teens and it can be used to tote teens in, and you can almost have them forever. What you do is once they get old, you rewash them and slip them back into the oven. Any kind of material can be used, and you just use the natural wax from the beehive and you make them. This is a luminary. That's actually made from the bee wax. You just take a balloon, you dip it into the wax, and it comes out. That's actually used for decorative purposes. Then we have the tea light candles, which is actually excellent to use because it's used as an antioxidant.
The group also makes soap that Feaster says is good for oily faces and cleaning the skin. Cooperative member Tennille Capron says there are two types of beehives they use, but safety is also key in beekeeping.
The Peroni hive gives a more natural feel to it, almost like the lightning hit tree concept, the Winnie the Pooh concept. So what you do is once we put the bees into that hive, we just leave them. We don't bother them, they get the job done on their own. Now with the Langstroth hive, we have frames in it. Right now we have the box that holds 10 frames. So sometimes we put wax frames, empty frames, and we go in there, we're able to check on them, see how much they're producing and what's not. If a hive is weak, we'll actually be able to take a frame from another hive that's thriving and put it in that hive. Okay, now with that we also have our suits that we go in the fields with. Because of the size of the stingers, the suits are just a bit thicker than that so we don't get sting. Along with that we use smokers to keep them calm, and we have certain tools that we use in the fields that allow us to get the job done.
And stay with us, sports is up next. You're watching the news leader first at 6.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
It's quite interesting how Bahamas Faith Ministries developed. You know, Dr. Monroe was a tremendous visionary. And I came into the picture, basically, I always say that I was an outlaw. I said when we started out with 3 preachers and a gangster.
He wanted to make Dr. Monroe president of the university.
And that's Oral Roberts University in the U.S.
And Dr. Monroe said to him, I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. I have to go back home to my people because I have a vision for my people.
He introduced me to his new friend that he met at Oral Roberts University, which happened to be Pastor Richard. They left Nassau at Christmas, they went back to school, and Pastor Richard and I started corresponding to each other. And that is really how our relationship began.
BTC is giving the gift of rollover
data, plus free unlimited WhatsApp calls, texts, pictures, and videos. Choose from our 1-day plan for $349, 7-day plan for $999, or a 15-day plan for only $29.99. We've even thrown in unlimited BTC to BTC calls and texts. Dial *203# to activate your plan today. Share every moment with BTC. Terms and conditions apply.
Starting June 14th, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas proudly presents the exciting games of the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia. Watch all the thrilling action as 32 teams play for 64 heart-stopping matches in 11 different Russian cities until the sensational final match on July 15th in Moscow for the coveted place in the 2021 FIFA Confederations Cup competition. Tune into ZNS TV this June for the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia, and be sure to contact your ZNS account executive or the ZNS sales office at 502-3800 to book your special FIFA World Cup 2018 sponsorship package. ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Kelsey Johnson. Here's your first look at sports for Wednesday. The Bahamas men's basketball team can still qualify for the second round of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, despite losing both games played here at home earlier this year. The Bahamas fell to Dominican Republic and Canada in February. They played the U.S. Virgin Islands prior to those two games and were defeated. Here's how they can advance to the next round.
We have limited down to 24, which we have to submit to FIBA, that we will select our final 12 from that will represent the Bahamas in this next window, which is supposed to be playing U.S. Virgin Islands on the 28th of this month in Puerto Rico. Because of the hurricane devastation of U.S. Virgin Island, they recommend that we play that game in a neutral ground. Of course, we had made recommendation and request to host, but of course U.S. Virgin Island didn't want to see that, which this is the most crucial game within this window that would allow us to qualify once we are able to beat them in double figures.
The 5-game winning streak for the Connecticut Sun was snapped on Tuesday night with an 82-77 loss to Atlanta Dream. Jonquel Jones came off the bench and contributed 5 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks in 24 minutes of play. The Sun will return to the court on Thursday again, going up against the New York Liberty. Tavario Miller is playing in the Mexican League with Los Mochos, who were defeated on Tuesday night by Novelito 87-72. The Bahamas was promoted into the Americas Zone 2 after winning all matches in Pool B and later defeating Costa Rica 2-1. Philip Major Jr. got things started for the Bahamas by winning the first singles match over Sebastian Quiros 6-2 and 6-2. Major reflected on his time on the court.
I think it was good. I mean, the whole team did great. We went there on a mission, and thank God we was able to accomplish our mission.
On the field on Tuesday night in the New Providence Softball Association were the Johnson Lady Truckers, who rolled over the Alive Strikers, a squad that is still looking for their first win on this season. The Lady Truckers rode to a 21-0 win. The feature game pitted BTC Elite Warriors, who pounded the Chance's Mighty Mitts 16-8. Avery Roll was the winning pitcher. The South Andros Regatta and Homecoming is in the history book. The annual event is held this past Labor Day weekend, was well attended. Chairperson Carolyn Stewart gave the event 2 thumbs up.
I feel like the regatta went really well. The sailing was excellent. The weather was good, and it worked with us. And I think the sailors had a really, really good time.
Even though the regatta was a smashing success, Stewart believes that more support can be shown in the day, especially since there are activities held throughout.
The whole idea about homecoming is so that people can come home to their roots, have a good time. But we hope that they'll support the function itself so that we'll be able to have this continuously. Because what happens is if persons come home and they don't support the function itself, which is the regatta, then we may have a problem paying the bills, getting the finances sorted out. And so it's a plus and a minus. We want them to have fun, we want them to enjoy the island, but we also want them to understand what is the overall concept that we are trying to put across here.
Live streaming has now become a big part of regattas in the country. It not only provides persons onshore with an excellent view of the races, but gives persons who are not able to attend an opportunity to watch sloop sailing. The initiative was launched for the first time at the Family Island on the weekend at the 51st Long Island Regatta.
We learned an awful lot from the technical commentary on tacking and all of the jargon that is connected with regattas, and we've had comments from around the world from people who've been watching, who've been learning about sloop sailing in the Bahamas. And so, my brothers and sisters, sloop sailing is the only sport that has a direct economic impact on the communities that host them. For many, this is the biggest week of earnings for the year. But socially, regattas are an important way of bringing the diaspora back home.
Coach Laszlo Borbelli has made the necessary adjustments to the workout schedule for the country's water polo squads. Borbelli, who is planning for the team's debut at the Central American and Caribbean Games.
First of all, we're doing very heavy physical work, a lot of push-off land work which shows on their shoulders, muscles are building up, and obviously the swimming, I see that their fitness in the water, the stamina to swim up and down improved a lot. Now you have to know that in that level, the pool gonna be 5 meters longer. We don't play in 25-meter pool anymore. We're gonna play in 30 meter, which sounds like nothing on the land, but swimming 5 meters more to attack, then swim back 5 meters more than before to defend is a lot of work, a lot of to adjust at that age.
That's your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. There's more to come.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
I dreamt of you as a little girl. I didn't know if I would ever find you. But I knew it from the moment I laid eyes on you. That you were perfect for me. Today, I marry my best friend. Today, I marry you. I began my happily ever after at Platinum Bride Couture.
James Aubrey. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
I'm going to Abaco.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the Family Islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the Family Islands today.
Well, it's quite interesting how Bahamas Faith Ministries developed. You know, Dr. Monroe was a tremendous visionary. And I came into the picture, basically, I always say that I was an outlaw. I said when we started out with 3 preachers and a gangster.
He wanted to make Dr. Monroe president of the university.
And that's Oral Roberts University in the U.S.
And Dr. Monroe said to him, I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. I have to go back home to my people because I have a vision for my people.
He introduced me to his new friend that he met at Oral Roberts University, which happened to be Pastor Richard. They left Nassau at Christmas, they went back to school, and Pastor Richard and I started corresponding to each other. And that is really how our relationship began.
In Caribbean news this Wednesday, the new Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, has elevated the continuing sewage problem on the South Coast to a national crisis and ordered that a cabinet paper be prepared outlining options to resolve the issue. Republican United States Senator Jeff Flake emphasized on Monday in Havana that traveling to Cuba is safe, in a clear message to those that wish to impede U.S. travelers in visiting the Caribbean island. And Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda Gaston Brown on Monday signed a memorandum of understanding with China on cooperation within the framework of the Silk Road Economic Belt and Silk Road Initiative. The MOU between the two countries is of an historic nature, as Antigua and Barbuda is the first country in the OECS to benefit from the initiative.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, it was a mix of cloud and sunshine, with more cloud than sun, and even a few showers and thunderstorms in spots. But outside of our studios right now, we have cloudy skies. Your temperature 82 degrees, relative humidity at 65%. The winds are out of the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure 1,014.0 millibars. That is 29.96 inches, and it is rising. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned. More weather is still to come.
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's a look at news here in the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. But don't go anywhere. News from the north is up next.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council not in agreement with the increase in value-added tax. Police officials sending a warning to residents purchasing and buying items on social media. And experience culture in the park this weekend.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rolf-Harkison. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the 2018-2019 budget debate kicked off in the House of Assembly today. And while there has been some optimism about some areas of the budget, the majority of Bahamians' focus remains on the 4.5% increase in VAT. Tonight, the Grand Bahama Christian Council is tackling the issue. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Robert Lockhart, says that this increase in value-added tax is a burden on the Bahamian people and a burden that they cannot bear at this time. He says if an increase had to have been made, it should have been less than 12%, and more time should have been given before its implementation.
But overall, I feel for where we are right now, especially in Grand Bahama, that a tax increase, especially how the government has also been in the process of laying people off. And I think I've observed that in the last 6 months, the government has probably laid off close to 3,000 people. And I just think it's very difficult to be laying people off and raising taxes at the same time. It's almost an unbearable burden.
He believes that there is sincerity in what the government is doing when it comes to reducing the country's deficit. However, he believes that Grand Bahama could have been exempted at this time due to the island's economic state.
I think even with the laying off of persons, Grand Bahama should have been exempted, because Grand Bahamians have been losing jobs in the hotel industry, taxi cab industry, restaurants, jewelry stores, and now for Grand Bahamians to also be losing jobs in the civil service, all at the same time. And then also to consider adding tax to that, seeing what we've been through as an island. I think all of that should have been considered.
The Deputy Prime Minister in a recent interview said that the government had no choice but to implement value-added tax at this time. As the country has some $8 billion in debt, the country could not afford another downgrade.
I feel that with wider consultation, and if the facts were laid on the table as to outside pressures and inside pressures, where our business minds can have that information, I feel collectively we've got to come up with a better plan.
Lockhart says while he is no economist, it is clear that this increase will have a negative impact.
There are going to be some negative effects. The cost of living is going to increase. Businesses are going to cut back. Some of that is going to consist of laying people off. It's going to create greater levels of unemployment. It may also act as a means of pushing away investors who are always trying to find ways to escape taxes to a degree.
He says in looking at the U.S. tax-based system, less taxes equals a better economy.
I've observed in the United States they cut taxes and it changed the economy. Unemployment dropped. Businesses begin to flourish. The economy is doing better. And so people have more monies at their disposal. And so the economy becomes all better.
In looking at the 2018-2019 budget, Lockhart says he carefully weighed the pros and the cons.
I think one of the things people are saying is that with one hand you giveth and with another hand you taketh away. Because even though there were cuts on certain duty items which are good, because the VAT is being increased almost by 70-75%, it's almost as if it's all being taken right back. And so I think that's what's creating some of the challenges.
Now, some small business owners are also giving their take on the new budget. They say while there are some benefits in the budget, the VAT increase is causing a headache. Italia Hall has more on this story.
The 2018-2019 budget debate is a topic for discussion for many citizens across the country. But here in Grand Bahama, business owners in particular are concerned about what the 12% VAT rate would mean for their business. Some business owners say they have listened to the debate and have seen some benefits, but they still have mixed feelings on some of the decisions that will be made in just a few weeks.
I'm looking at it in the long haul. I do appreciate the fact of shoes being duty-free. That will help. I know that I still would have to pay VAT, which is 12% on it. Now, about the increase, what I'm concerned about is that my other cost of business will go up. My rent will go up, my light bill will go up, and the other costs of doing business.
I think it's going to benefit my business somewhat, but it's still going to be harder on the people.
People are hurting. And 12% increase in VAT is not the time to do it. You know, people are, and as a business person, it's just going to sink business down. Nothing is going to go up because now you're going to tell me now if I bring in something and you're going to charge me 45% on this item, okay? 45% plus when you do the 45%, then you add it to the item that I bought in. Then you're going to charge 12% VAT on that. That is crazy.
The current duty rate on vehicles is 65%. Larry Albury, who works at a rental car company and the owner of Palm Service Station and Convenience Store, says having to pay duty plus 12% VAT is costing too much for the rental car industry and persons who want to bring in cars.
I challenged the government to go back into the Treasury and see how much money they were making when the duty rates on vehicles were a lot less. With right now, I bet the Treasury is hardly making any money.
Now, that business owner says in addition to the 4.5% increase, he also has an issue with the amount of time that was given for him to prepare.
For July 1st, it's very hard to get software changed so fast because we have breadbasket items. So therefore, breadbasket items are going to be duty-free. I think that we need to start thinking a little bit ahead and giving business people a lot more time. If you're going to do changes, we need time to put these in place.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Police issuing a warning tonight about online shopping. It appears that a trend is developing here on Grand Bahama and consumers could be in trouble. For the past several weeks, police officials say many vehicles and items have been reported stolen. Superintendent Brian Rolls says these items have been posted on Facebook, and while they are not discouraging shopping online, they are asking for buyers and sellers to be aware.
For example, if you're going to purchase an item, know who you're purchasing from. Don't carry with you cash, especially if you're going to meet somebody who you just saw advertising something online. And we find in most of these cases, that's what happened. Persons took a lot of cash with them, purchase or buy and carry. They might think that's what they were going to do, not knowing the individuals who they were purchasing from. Once they would have arrived, these persons would have pulled a scheme on them, took the cash from them, and handed them over something that was already stolen.
He says their investigations have led them to persons selling stolen items.
Items were just recently stolen and were being sold online to other persons who are unsuspected, thinking, I finally got a good deal on a car, rather buying a car that was just stolen. So although we want to encourage e-commerce, because we know that's the way we're going in the Bahamas, we want you to be careful where you purchase from. If you're going to meet someone at a location, and you set the location, if possible, if you have to buy, bring them, even as possible, to the police station, where they can purchase, and you may be able, the police officer can ascertain whether this person has a legit right to what they're selling you, and you can also have somebody who will witness the purchase of the item.
And he adds that persons selling items on Facebook should also be alert for these scammers.
Persons already view your vehicle was being offered for sale. They pull you out in an area, and they make you believe that they have money to make a quick cash sale. Be careful with this. Make sure you do not give your keys to persons to go and drive in your vehicle and you outside the vehicle, because we have had incidents where persons drive off with vehicle and you leave there standing up, but nothing. In most cases, some persons can't even remember their license at the end of the day. So that makes it even more difficult for us. Ensure that if you're going to sell your vehicle, or any item in fact, you do not produce that item before you know for certain that the person who is offering to buy is someone qualified to buy and is someone who's not going to try to rip you off.
Superintendent Roll notes that there are no reported use of weapons while these items have been stolen, but adds that at this point they are unclear if this is a ring that's taking place.
I'd say it's too early right now for us to say that, but we definitely have seen an uptick in the type of vehicles, the vehicles that are being taken, and the method that is being used to take these vehicles. We are seeing Chevy Cobalt are being the most frequent vehicles that are being taken. But of course, we've had other vehicles that were taken in the past.
Police say these stolen vehicles are being resold, used for parts, or sprayed to have a different look. They add that one person is in custody for a recent stolen vehicle. Still in news from the crime beat, police in Grand Bahama are investigating an alleged rape in the North Bahama area overnight. It is understood that a man broke in and entered a woman's apartment and sexually assaulted her.
On Tuesday, yes, we had a rape matter reported to us early Tuesday morning, and by late Tuesday evening, we have a male in custody who's assisting us with this investigation. And we are quite sure that we're on the right track in solving this matter.
Now, she contends that this is an isolated incident and they are confident that they are on the right track, and this matter will be brought before the court soon as investigations continue into this matter. Well, the authorities on Grand Bahama also investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of an abandoned vessel. Authorities were called to Xanadu Beach this morning, where the vessel was found just off the shoreline. When our news team arrived at the beach, officers at the Customs and Police Marine Division could be seen conducting their initial investigations. Now, no one was found on the vessel, and the inside of the vessel was gutted out. It is understood that the sea craft was registered in the United States. Police in Abaco are investigating the death of a male who was found in waters near the government dock. Reports say sometime this morning, officers were called to an area near the Sandy Point dock where they discovered the body of a male floating in waters. He was taken to the Marsh Harbor Clinic and pronounced dead on arrival. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
musicians. Churches, nightclubs, Radio Shack is now stocked with heavy-duty power amps, powered speakers, subwoofers, cordless and wired microphones, lavaliers, guitar strings, drumsticks, skins, and accessories, guitar and bass amps, DI boxes, crossovers, line conditioners, percussion instruments, clarinet and saxophone reeds, PA systems, mixers, routers, hard drives, sound cards, tablets, MacBook Pro power cords and adapters, and so much more at the new Radio Shack at Dolly Madison Home Center.
Come on down.
Chimney, new government, give thanks. Sing it.
Yes, Freeport, that's Irish Riley, your singer. Do remember, June 16, have no fear. We will be there. Sing, Taurus Riley, niceness increase. You don't know it, already, the rain start the first one. That Jah works a blessing. I watch that. The simple things, them are your blessings. So we're ready up this time. June 16, rock on forward in. Well clean.
Things are your blessing. And you don't notice your blessings. You pick it with the shoes by your feet. Now pick and choose the friends where you keep. You now watch where you eat. When last you get a good sleep. The simple things are your blessings. Simple things are your blessing, your blessing. Simple things are your blessing. You better notice your blessing.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Covering the Northern Bahamas? You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Grand Bahama's newest youth organization, the Aim High Girls Club, launching its program recently in the Southern District. The aim is to fill a void in the area of youth development in the communities of Pinders Point, Lewis Yard, Hunters, Mactown, and Hawksbill. Now, the organization is also preparing for what they hope will be a signature event. Italia Hall has more.
Aim High is a mentoring organization for young girls between the ages of 11 and 18. The club will conduct programs to assist participants with personal and professional development. Founder and President Sabrina Brown.
Our goal is to help young women to realize their purpose, dream big, set goals, and work hard to achieve them. It is also our view that communities within the Southern District are pretty much underserved. And with so many young people facing social and economic challenges, we can no longer just sit back and talk about the problems, but rather we choose to be a part of the solution.
Aim High is preparing to host its first annual Girls Conference and Pep Rally on Saturday, June 9th at the Church of the Good Shepherd Hall in Pinders Point from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. under the theme, It's Up to Me. The event is free and the girls will be served breakfast and lunch. Youth Coordinator at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Carla Brown-Roker, welcomes Aim High to the Grand Bahama community, and she's endorsing their efforts.
Our mandate by Minister Pintard has been to make the programs of the Ministry of Youth more of an outreach. And this is a great opportunity that we have to partner with Aim High Mentoring Girls Group to do just that, to help them make their presence felt in the Southern District.
Chairman of the Pinders Point Local Government Township and sponsor Jackie Russell believes that Aim High will fill a void in the area of youth development in the Southern District. Meanwhile, marketing executive at Jarrell Investments Karen Wilson says they are happy to be a sponsor of the upcoming Girls Conference.
Pinders Point Township is so pleased to partner with Sabrina Brown and her Aim High Girls Club. Like she said, this is the first conference to be held in this community, and I am so happy that she took the time to put this event together.
Me and I had a conversation a couple months ago about this area because I visit the shops frequently in this area, and I told her that this area is dying. And she said to me that she wants to do something for the youths, which are the girls in this area. which I thought it was a good initiative.
Now you can register for the conference at the local government office in Hunters and Bethel Books and Stationers downtown Freeport.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture announcing the start of their Youth Outreach and Culture in the Park initiative. The program will allow the ministry to take their initiatives directly to the community and to speak directly with parents, young people, and recruit unattached youth. Now, there are a number of partners involved from the public and private sector. This event, the first of many to come, will be held this Saturday on the Mo McPhee Park.
We have many parks in Grand Bahama that we want to utilize, so I don't want anybody to think we're not coming in your area. So we're hoping throughout the year that we will be going from the east to the west. And our first stop, like she said, will be Mo McPhee Park. This is a time for you to come and find out about all of our cultural grants that we offer, all of our artisans here in Grand Bahama from east to west. This is your opportunity to register your organization, your group, and to help you brand yourself as an artist. In order for us to help you attain projects and jobs and revenue, we have to first know that you exist.
Coordinator Carla Brown-Roker says it will be an afternoon of extreme entertainment.
Hoyts will be there participating in basketball skills and drills, along with playing games against other teams. Culture will be prominent as the stage will be lit with music and dance performances from our schools, churches, and community. Some of the best vendors will have native food on sale for you to enjoy. Youth organizations, training institutions, and summer camp and program information will be available for the public. We want to ensure that every youth is engaged in wholesome activities during these summer months.
Now they say the next stop is Pinedale 8 Mile Rock. And now it is time to Ask the Doctor.
Hi and welcome. Peggy from Freeport asked this question. I eat a lot of blueberries in my fruit salad and in my oatmeal because I heard it's good for your heart. Is this true? Thanks for your question. The short answer is yes. Berries have been shown in clinical and epidemiological studies to be good for heart health. In general, fruits and vegetables are high in antioxidants, but berries in particular have a high level of antioxidants called flavonoids, which researchers have shown possibly improves circulation through blood vessels, prevents plaque buildup in arteries, and promotes healthy blood pressure. There are 6 berries that researchers believe, if consumed a few times a week, can have great health benefits, like lowering your risk for a heart attack and cardiovascular disease. These are strawberries, blueberries, acai berries, raspberries, blackberries, and cranberries. Berries are not only colorful and tasty, they're also low in calories and a great source of fiber, folic acid, calcium, and vitamin C. So consider starting your day with adding a few berries to your oatmeal, yogurt, or a smoothie. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. A check on sports is up next.
More on Makeup by Megan Coker. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
When you need a warm, filling meal, head to KFC for a hot, juicy, flaky chicken pot pie. Individual sized, freshly baked, chunky chicken pot pie loaded with tender pieces of delicious KFC chicken, green peas, hearty carrots, potatoes, and a thick and savory home-style sauce. Covered with a golden crust. Chicken pot pie. Available at all KFC restaurants in Freeport.
Hey, I'm Megan Shepard, a reporter here at the ZNS Northern Service. Did you know that ZNS is right at your fingertips when you download the new ZNS app? Miss something in our newscast? That's okay. Simply pull up the app, swipe, and you'll find all of our news headlines and highlights. So what are you waiting for? Download the new ZNS app today.
Topping sports, the Grand Bahama Tennis Association 2018 Primary School Tennis and Quick Start Tennis. That program came to an end over the weekend at the YMCA. Our Kimberly Mullings says organizers found some talent among the bunch and they are looking forward to next year.
For the past 4 Saturdays, the GBTA has been hosting tennis clinics for primary school students. The final Saturday featured a skills competition for the group, and president of the association, Natishka Barrett, says it's been exciting.
What we've done is we've sent out invitations to several schools, and we have had overwhelming support from Walter Parker Primary. So I would like to say thank you so much to the principals, as well as, in particular, Mr. Ferguson, who's the PE teacher at Walter Parker. So we've just been teaching them basic tennis skills, and today we have that on display.
The GBTA found some gems along the way, and they are looking to make tennis a part of the primary school's curriculum on the island. Barrett says this program was certainly a great way to start.
When we started today, I asked how many of them were actually having fun with this program, and all of them raised their hands. So what we're actually hoping to do is retain as many of them as possible in the program, because we do have coaches that are here that continue to teach, like Coach Danny, Coach MacArthur Rigby, Coach Richard Morley. And we actually have selected at least 3 or 4 out of the group that we noticed have true potential to basically, they're almost like advanced players from the start.
Student Perez Martin says he wants to come back next year.
I like to come to the Y because of tennis, and my favorite part of tennis is serving the tennis ball to another player.
Students Wahid Colbrook and Shankwell Russell are both interested in playing tennis because they have a goal in mind.
It was very fun, and I learned how to play tennis really good thanks to Triska and Coach Molly. It's fun, and because I think I'm good, I can probably get a scholarship because of it.
My favorite part is getting to learn new stuff every day, every Saturday at the YMCA. It's fun, and you can gain more stuff on it, and you can make money and get scholarships.
The GBTA Primary School Tennis Program starts again in September. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Soul Sports.
The 2018 BJ Monroe Grand Bahama International Junior Tennis Championship is scheduled for this weekend at the YMCA beginning June 8th to the 10th. Monroe says the tournament will feature players from Florida and the Bahamas.
We're looking forward to having, juniors from Nassau, Freeport, and I'm bringing myself about 7 to 9 kids from the West Palm Beach area. What we're trying to do is, bridge an international gap between U.S. players and Bahamian players, and just enhance play overall in the Bahamas.
Now, Monroe is working along with the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to make this tennis tournament successful, but he is still calling on the public to show their support.
We're looking for the community involvement in this to really help us with pulling off this event. The contact info can be through, or more information can be through Patrick Monroe at 804-9065. We're looking to put a great event. We have a lot of fun installed, and please come out and support.
Now, for more information, please feel free to visit bmgrandbahamachampionships.com. And that's your check on sports.
This hurricane season, you can have light when the power is off with Solar Up Bahamas. Find out more about commercial and residential solar systems and lighting. Phone 727-4237.
I'm Hugh Ferguson from Budget Pest Control. After 30 years in this industry, testing hundreds of pest control products, none has impressed me more than Vape. Vape 90-Day Mosquito Destroyer, Vape Aerosol, and Vape Mosquito Coil. Vape is the only spray that you will find in my house and my mother's house, and it should be the only one in yours. In pest control, there are only 2 names to remember: Vape and Budget Pest Control.
Influenza or the flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Well, it's quite interesting how Bahamas Faith Ministries developed. You know, Dr. Monroe was a tremendous visionary. And I came into the picture, basically, I always say that I was an outlaw. I said when we started out with 3 preachers and a gangster.
He wanted to make Dr. Monroe president of the university.
And that's Oral Roberts University in the U.S.
And Dr. Monroe said to him, I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. I have to go back home to my people because I have a vision for my people.
He introduced me to his new friend that he met at Oral Roberts University, which happened to be Pastor Richard. They left Nassau at Christmas, they went back to school, and Pastor Richard and I started corresponding to each other. And that is really how our relationship began.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report. The budget debate opens with more sparring over the proposed VAT hike. Police make arrests in the shooting of a 7-year-old boy. Ahead tonight, who they're still looking for. And the latest on the Eleuthera plane crash, which claimed 3 lives. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Debate on the 2018-2019 budget begins in the House of Assembly. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, was on the offensive today as he defended his government's proposal to increase the rate of value-added tax in the lower house of Parliament. The Minister of Finance accused the former administration of leaving a $400 million deficit in place, which the current administration must settle. Cleopatra Murphy tells us that Turnquest took the opposition to task over its current stance.
Debate on the 2018-2019 budget became a shouting match in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, challenged opposition leader Philip Davis to take a firm stance on whether a progressive Liberal Party government would reverse a value-added tax increase if it regains government. This is as the Minister's administration proposes to increase the tax from 7.5% to 12% by July 1st.
If the Leader of the Opposition and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, if they thought that the move we are making is wrong, then they should be brave enough to say to the Bahamian people and commit it today that they're going to bring the value-added tax back to 7.5%. Say it today. Put it on the record.
Davis says if that occurs shortly, yes, but 4 years out, it would depend on the state of the economy.
My response is that if we're in office next year, yes, we will. My further response is that in the event that there's no need for the increase, and I'll explain to him why there's no need. My projection is that tax is going to be disastrous for the economy. And I don't know what state they will be leaving the economy when I'm there.
Turnquest accused the opposition, who has vowed to vote against any tax increases, of playing with the Bahamian people. He says the budget is a departure from previous ones and will do away with waste.
We are spending the people's hard-earned money, contributed through taxes, on a vision of inclusiveness, social progress, modernization, generational equality, and fiscal responsibility.
The Minister of Finance vowed the Minnis administration would not leave the country's finances in the position it met it in, and says the Christie administration's record leaves a clear conclusion.
Either the governing party at the time was totally incompetent and just didn't know what it is they were doing, or more likely and more damning, it knew full well what it was doing and was manipulating the public finances as it saw fit, and certainly not, sadly to say, for the benefit of hard-working Bahamians.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The proposed increase in VAT also a concern to contractors. Today, during a weekly meeting at the Poop Deck West, the president of the Bahamas Contractors Association called for a meeting with the Minister of Finance. We get the story tonight from LaDawn Davis.
When the 12% VAT increase is imposed across the board for Bahamians on July 1st, contractors say it will have a rippling effect on their businesses. President of the Bahamas Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, says he fears that there will be a major decrease in activity by some 40%.
We looked at the statistics provided from the Department of Statistics, and we saw that there was a definite decrease in our amount of activity after the implementation of VAT in 2014-2015. So using that as a roadmap, we can predict that there will be again a decrease in activity in our sector with an increase in VAT to 12%. We would like there to be a consideration to our sector for the contracts that are already engaged, contractors have out there with lending institutions and or the government.
Sands says what's even worse is once that 12% increase begins, banks may be reluctant to lend monies to homeowners seeking an extension on their mortgages.
That means that a contractor won't be able to provide the house for you or that renovation. So we are limited by the lending institutions' capacity and trust in our economy to lend monies. And when we now increase VAT, which had a knock-on effect on construction to 12%, it means that fewer Bahamians will be getting approvals from banks.
A few contractors we spoke to talked about that 12% VAT increase and what it will actually mean for the future of their businesses.
I am worried that it's going to slow down, that business will decrease because people are going to be holding their money tighter than they have been. It seems to have in the last year or so just picked up a little bit.
We've got to make an adjustment one way or the other. It's either going to be adjusted by the customer or it's going to affect the contractor. The customer will now have to come up with an additional 4.5% on that. And we know that in most cases, the customers are already at a certain price point. So the TDSR is already maxed out. And so now they're going to have to be considered for that increase.
Meanwhile, Sands says he is hoping to have a special meeting with the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, as soon as possible to discuss a waiver for the increase for all qualified contractors. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest is also clarifying the government's decision to make aircraft and helicopters duty-free. Turnquest says the decision has nothing to do with the local aviation industry, but rather it's intended to attract international jet owners who may register their crafts here in the Bahamas.
What's the benefit to us? Well, we can charge somewhere around $4,000 a year for licensing fees for these jets, money that we don't collect today. Not only that, in order to put those aircraft on our registry, they have to be inspected every year So it means that you need to have a qualified airman, check airman, somebody who knows how to fly these aircraft, and they have to go out and check the pilots to make sure the pilots are current.
Well, the Minister of Finance says with this plan, there's the prospect of eventually providing jobs and creating business in the aviation industry.
We now have the opportunity to build up an aircraft maintenance business. Not only that, once we sign on to what they call the Cape Town Convention, which allows the Bahamas to recognize aircraft mortgages, we can set up an aircraft mortgage business right here in the Bahamas. And the difference between a regular mortgage and an aircraft mortgage is that aircrafts obviously are mobile, they can move. And so once you sign on to this convention, wherever that asset is, if there's a problem, you can go collect it.
The bodies of 3 Florida men, all American visitors to the island of Eleuthera, have been recovered following that fatal airplane crash involving a Cessna, which went down just after takeoff from the Rock Sound International Airport on Tuesday. This is as local flight inspectors began their initial investigation this morning. Flight Inspector Delvin Major told ZNS News today that the plane manufacturer should be on the island tomorrow to assist with the investigation as a more in-depth assessment is to take place. Meantime, Superintendent of Police Frederick Sands says police got the call around 3:45 in the afternoon and had to travel 3 miles into bushes to get to the wreck.
We had to wait for fire services to get in, which took a little while because of the density of the bush and them getting to the site. On the extinguishing of the fire by fire officials down here, we discovered what appears to be 3 badly burned torsos. We identified the aircraft and persons aboard late in the afternoon last night.
Officials are now waiting for next of kin to identify the victims. Sands says it took some time to recover the bodies, which are now here in the capital.
We did what we were mandated to do, members of the police force, secure the site, retrieve what was there, and the body sometime after 9 o'clock last night was taken to I think it's Freedom of Paradise, if I get the name right, Freedom of Paradise Funeral Home, which is located in Rock Sound, and were later flown out sometime around 11 o'clock to the capital level.
In other news tonight, 2 police officers and several private citizens escaped serious injury when a convoy driving along East Bay Street collided with another vehicle near the Sydney-Poitier Bridge yesterday. Now, we understand the private vehicle was carrying a family of 4. A relative on the scene said 2 adults, a 7-year-old and a baby, were in the Chevy vehicle. Chief Superintendent Craig Stubbs updated us on the accident and the conditions of those involved.
A convoy of vehicles escorted by a police cruiser was en route to the Bahamas Department of Corrections when the accident occurred at the intersection of East Bay Street and Church Street, involving a private vehicle which was traveling north on Church Street. As a result of the accident, persons complained of injuries. They were all transported from the site to the Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital, respectively, where they were attended by physicians with non-life-threatening injuries. Up to this morning, our communications in those 2 hospitals, all persons were treated and discharged. Both vehicles, the police cruiser and the private vehicle, received extensive damages as a result of this collision.
Stubbs gave this warning to motorists regarding siren alerts.
I want the motoring public to be mindful that the use of the siren, the law requires that all vehicles are pulled to the near side and stop. We know that persons are driving with the windows up and they are playing music or with the air conditioning on. It makes it hard to to hear oncoming emergency vehicles. We admonish you that once you are driving and you're approaching a traffic light signal, intersection, busy signal, if the light is showing green, you still have a duty of care to slow down and allow and to be mindful of for emergency vehicles or other road users who likely disrespect those signals at those intersections.
Well, still ahead tonight, the Prime Minister urges caution regarding the recent Labor Day tragedy. And arrests made in the fatal shooting of a 7-year-old boy. Ahead tonight, who police are still looking for. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report continues. You're watching your news leader.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Lettuce, designed for extra miles.
Are your monthly bills coming in on top of your holiday bills? It's time for a change. Bundle your bills into one low-rate loan with Commonwealth Bank. Move your high-rate loans and credit card balances from other banks to a low-rate consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank. Less stress, less to pay, each and every month. Plus, the chance to win $5,000. So make a change. Get a consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank and pay less.
Accepted. You're always sharing everything. You share the umbrella, the weekend, the blanket, and even your favorite towel. We know that you always share, but not KFC's genuine big box, made fresh for only you, with 2 pieces of chicken, 2 spicy wings, coleslaw, fries, biscuit, a cookie, and a soda, all for just $10 including VAT. Easy to enjoy, hard to share.
Let's celebrate our islands. Cheers to the new world. The Hopetown Lighthouse and Bahama Parrot. Coral Gardens of Acklins and Crooked Island. Let's celebrate Andros. Let's celebrate the Grand Bahama Shipyard. Sport fishing in Bimini. The sweet sounds of Rake and Scrape. Eleuthera Sweet Pineapple. Our world-famous swimming pigs. Let's celebrate our national bird. Let's celebrate Long Island. Our sea turtles in Mayaguana. John Canoe. Let's celebrate Ragged Island. Click, the beer of the Bahamas, celebrating 30 years.
With a yes. But when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, and anytime, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
The man in the boat sculling round Bahama land. The man in the boat and the crowd is sipping sand. The Bohemian beer, do it right over here. If you bounce the Bohemian, raise your signs in the air. The man in the boat sculling round Bahama land. The man in the boat
Available at Jimmy's Liquor Store or your favorite restaurant or liquor stores throughout the Bahamas.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis has expressed sadness over the Labor Day tragedy, which left 4 dead and 24 injured. He's urging members of the public to hold back on any speculation over the events of Labor Day as an investigation continues.
Various authorities will report their findings and what subsequent actions may be taken in the wake of this tragedy. I caution the public, I repeat, I caution the public not to engage in idle speculation and rumors about the tragedy. In investigating and reviewing this matter, we must be guided by the rule of law and fairness.
Dr. Minnis says 2 persons remain in hospital at Doctors Hospital while 1 remains hospitalized at PMH. The Prime Minister, who visited with the families of the deceased following the tragedy, says he assured them of the government's and the nation's support.
We also visited the injured who remained in hospital. Our prayers and thoughts, Mr. Speaker, are with the deceased and all of those who sustained injuries. The wounds of the injured are physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual, which will require various forms of healing and support.
Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Peter Turnquest has also extended his condolences. Meantime, the National Congress of Trade Unions of the Bahamas and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress coming together to form an emergency Tough Point committee to address national, regional, and international concerns stemming from the Labor Day tragedy. The unions have also planned an event for this coming Friday to remember the 4 women who died in that incident.
A candlelight vigil is planned, and it's planned between the hours of 7 and hopefully will be concluded by 9. We are asking as many to come out and show their support. Just bring your candle. We'll have everything else there. We want to really confront the issue, cross the hurdle together with the families, bring some type of closure by revisiting the site. We'd want you to get there at least by 6:30 the latest so that we can start promptly at 7. We have met with the family members already, many of them who have said that they would be in attendance. And so we're asking as many trade unions, movements, affiliates, the general public in itself, come and let's hold hands together.
In other news tonight, the search for a murder suspect in the death of 7-year-old Columbus Primary School student Cameron Cooper has ended. We're told the suspect, 32-year-old Johnny St. Luke of Wilson Tract, was taken into custody along with another individual, a female, for questioning last evening. Meantime, police have stepped up their patrol of the area, which is said to be a popular vicinity for drug peddling. Immigration Minister the Honorable Brent Simonet says the modernization of the Immigration Department continues, with efforts underway to ensure the department is fully computerized by early July. The Immigration Minister said the move is necessary in order to enhance services.
Just had a crew come back from Canada on the whole question of the computerization. When I last checked, unfortunately the head of that unit, her mother died, so she's out for a couple of days. Last I checked, the new computer system should be fully operational on July 1st. There have been other parts, like you come in the airport where you scanned your passport. Those are all part of that upgrade. They're in place now, and the rest should be 1st of July.
The Shanty Town Task Force continuing efforts to seek out those land lease owners. Labor Minister the Honorable Dion Folk said there's a challenge locating all of them.
We've met with 5 so far. 2 of them we cannot locate. I don't know whether they are in the jurisdiction or not, but we have so far spoken to 5 of them, and they are cooperating with us. We will comply with the laws of the Bahamas, namely the Town Planning Act that mandates certain things must happen with unregulated structures.
Meantime, the Labor Minister said the government is sticking to its July 31st deadline, at which time all shanty towns are expected to be demolished.
There's no problems that we encounter or that we see coming up that would cause us to change the July 31st date for the Shanty Town removal. All of the timelines that we have, and most of them are internal, we have met them all.
The government taking steps to provide critical health care coverage for persons suffering from chronic illnesses. According to the 2018-2019 budget, the first phase of the catastrophic care insurance plan will be introduced this upcoming fiscal year under National Health Insurance. Labor Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says National Health Insurance will be completely revamped in order to accommodate the new health plan.
We have always been aware that the Bahamian public's concern was the need for cookouts, the devastating impact of serious illnesses, whether it's heart disease, cancer, major trauma, kidney failure, on the ability to provide care for loved ones, and the obscene decisions, the agonizing decisions that people need to make. And we have always been of the view that while primary care services are beneficial and have returns in the long run, that to provide assistance to Bahamians for these type of catastrophic problems is essential.
Well, healthier options expected to be included on a revamped breadbasket items list. Health Minister Dr. Sands says the goal is to provide Bahamians access to more affordable, healthy food choices.
Consensus thus far is that sugar had to go, and so sugar gone. Corned beef is on probation. But the public should expect to see healthier foods replacing unhealthy foods on the bread basket. Bear in mind that even as we complete the revision of the bread basket, this is not going to be a one-off. It is going to require ongoing discussion and education and examples, because we didn't get into this problem overnight.
Dr. Sands said the breadbasket revision process has not been completed as the educational campaign across the country is still underway.
Two separate issues. One is the elimination or zero rating of VAT on all breadbasket items. That requires legislative change. And so the VAT regulations had to be amended. It also had budgetary implications. The change of what is on the breadbasket now requires only discussion and decision, and ultimately is gazetted by the minister with responsibility for price control, Dion Folks, after consultation.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. Tourism and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Dionisio D'Aguilar, revealed that the government's bid to privatize Nassau Flight Services is at least 6 to 8 months away from coming to a conclusion. D'Aguilar said the potential sale of the government-owned ground handling provider will be open to Bahamian investors only. He made the announcement during the company's recent client appreciation cocktail reception at the Balmoral Club. He believes the private sector is more nimble and able to react to the changing markets. So this government wants to change a long-held policy of government running everything, and that is why they are moving in that direction. Nassau Flight Services has been in existence since 1957. In other business news, a $6 million tour operation will create 70 jobs within its first year when it begins to expose Eleuthera to thousands of tourists from 2019 onwards. Tourism Adventures plans to launch a fast ferry that will take 500 guests per day from Nassau to Eleuthera in just 1 hour. Chief Operating Officer Tyrone Sawyer II said Tourism Adventures will provide an authentic out-island experience. Tourism Adventures plans to cater to children through partnering with Jemima's Playhouse, an education and entertainment company developed by Sawyer and his wife Jemima. Jemima's Playhouse services pre- and elementary schools in Texas, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, and Georgia. And in international news, American companies announced a record $201.3 billion in stock buybacks and cash takeovers in May. Apple reportedly made up nearly half of that total. Last month, Apple pledged to purchase $1 billion worth of its own stock. Micron Technology at $10 billion and Qualcomm at $8.8 billion, rounding out the top three in Trim Tab's report. May's buyback announcement bonanza continues the trend started in the first quarter of 2018 when U.S. companies completed $178 billion in buybacks. The massive uptick followed the U.S. corporate tax cut law, which reduced the business tax rate from 35% to 21%. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.
Life is filled with choices. Every choice we make has a consequence. Whether big or small, financial choices have more lasting consequences than most. When we make sound financial choices, we improve our relationship with money and set ourselves up for financial success. Visit GetMoneySmartBahamas.com and learn how to get money smart today.
Loadback has been at this location here for going on 5 years, but we've been in the Bahamas for representation of something around 10 years. Our operating hours are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Sunday to Thursdays, and on Fridays and Saturdays we go until 12 midnight. For the initial rollout of the rewards program, we're going to be offering the silver members $5 off. For the gold members, we're going to offer 50% off on a blooming onion. And for the platinum, we're going to give them 7.5% off their entire bill. We wanted to partner with Alive, in a new and innovative way to be able to reach more customers within our customer base and to also give our customers an extra incentive to come into Outback.
This is Get Me Ride. With our app, you easily sign up to ride and ride whenever you want. All of our drivers are certified taxi drivers. Add funds to your wallet and rate your drivers. Want to be a driver? Download Get Me Ride, the #1 transportation and taxi provider. Visit getmeride.org.
Know how you can save more money, save more time, earn more interest, and have more for the future? The solution is an account from Fidelity Bank. With our ASU Savings, fixed deposits, and preferred client program, you can get free financial advice from our team of experts, competitive interest rates, and free online banking for simple and safe banking anytime, anywhere. Open a fixed deposit or savings account with Fidelity by visiting a branch today. Get into the rhythm of saving with Fidelity. Fidelity, we're good for you.
There are stamps for mailing, even rubber and ink stamps, but there's only one stamp that saves you money, and you only get them at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs 15-ounce can, $1.09. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Rainbow corned beef, 12-ounce can, $1.89. Libby whole kernel corn or sliced beets, 15-ounce size, 99 cents. Sweet peaches, $1.99 per pound. Carolina Pride hams, 10-ounce size, $2.99. Quality stamps only at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
All right, it's time for a check of your weather in Basel. It rained and it poured today.
Surely did, and it certainly signaled that summer is really here with temperatures near the 90s and sporty showers here and there. But right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Islands, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 84 degrees in Freeport, 84 in Greentoll Key, 83 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Here in the capital, 81 degrees, Harbor Island, 82. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 81, 81 also in Otterstown, Cat Island. Stanley Key at 82, 82 also in Kemps Bay, South Andros. Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 83 degrees. San Salvador, Rum Key, Otterstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, Exuma, all at 81 degrees, 82s in Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Regatta Island. Matthew Town, Inagua, 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands, you can expect south to southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. Wave fights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide takes place at 7:27 this evening. For the central Bahamas, winds southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and your wave fights 2 to 4 feet. Taking you into the southeast Bahamas, we have that southeasterly flow as well, but a little brisker at 12 to 18 knots. Wave fights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. So we have a small craft caution in the southeast Bahamas for you. Then tomorrow in the northwest Bahamas, winds fall off light and variable. Wave heights very flat at 3 feet or less over the ocean. Low tide, 8:04 in the morning, and the high tide will take place at 2:03 in the afternoon. For the central Bahamas tomorrow, we'll have a more easterly flow at 10 to 15 knots, wave fights at 2 to 4 feet, and that moderate wind will continue in the southeast Bahamas from the east at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave fights 3 to 6 feet. For once again, caution flags up for the southeast Bahamas. And then on Friday in the northwestern islands, the light and variable weather will continue with flat seas, low tide 8:53 in the morning, high tide at 3:34 in the afternoon. For the central islands, wind southeast at 10 to 15, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, and for the southeast Bahamas, southeast winds at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
No, mama, we ain't gonna rake and scrape. We can clean the house just like you say. That's right, right? Yeah, that's right. We ain't rake and scrape. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Hey, we don't care what mama don't like, gonna rake and scrape it anyhow. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Now mama don't know that we are up. I ain't talking about the way she took rake and scrape that's pumping through our veins. We can rate that she go up, we gonna rake and scrape beside the stuff. Yeah, the neighbors scream and shout.
That's going to do it for your travel forecast, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 25 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Talking to your child about sex doesn't have to be difficult or embarrassing. Have the conversation early and often. Your home will become a safe and comfortable environment for your child to ask questions. Your child needs to hear accurate information about sex from you. This includes the basics: vaginal, oral, and anal sex, birth control, sexual assault, sexual molestation, and your family's moral beliefs. Your child needs to know that he or she can talk with you about sex. They can talk with you about their changing bodies, their feelings, their concerns, and their confusion. You don't have to know all of the answers to their questions. However, you should be willing to help them find those answers. Help them do the research. When you don't know the answers, you want to be approachable. You want them to feel comfortable talking with you about sex. Don't wait until your child asks you about sex before you find the right words. Plan ahead at every age and stage. Be prepared to discuss all kinds of sexual activity as well as same-sex relationships. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Joy has something new in store for you. For even longer-lasting suds, a more powerful clean, and a delightful new scent, try Joy Orange. Try it now, and you could win a trip for two to Vegas, a trip for two to Orlando, or $1,000 cash. Just buy 2 30-ounce bottles of Joy Orange and take your receipt to purchase on Robinson Road. Try Joy Orange and enter to win today. Promotion ends June 22nd.
You know that's probably a phishing email, right?
Well, I clicked the link to sign in and the website looks authentic.
Nope, it's not. Look closely at the URL. See? It's misspelled. There's an extra L in the domain name. That's what these kinds of emails often do. Link to a fake web page that mimics the URL and homepage of a legitimate website. Then they get you to enter personal information like a password or credit card number.
So I shouldn't have clicked on the link?
Nope. When going to any page where you have an account, the best thing to do is type the URL in manually, then create a bookmark to go there in the future. So you're never relying on someone else's link. Update account. Validate. Verify. Click here.
The performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we feed ourselves?
To feel fresh and dry all day long, use Always Dailies. Now when you buy any 2 packs of Dailies liners, you can enter to win a Samsung S6, Jumbo gift cards, or cash prizes. Buy Always Dailies and enter to win.
Good night, BTC family. It's Julian Believe, and we're back with another BTC Tech Tip.
Yeah, I got a call saying BTC is putting fiber in my neighborhood, but I don't even know what fiber is.
Fiber is the latest data transfer technology, providing high-speed internet connection at up to 1,000 megabits per second. With fiber to the home, customers can experience great bandwidth and reliability with their internet connection. And that bandwidth allows for services like smart home systems, Flow TV, and even home office internet.
How much will it cost to install?
Installing fiber has no cost to you if you're an existing BTC fixed line customer. However, if you are a brand new BTC customer, The installation cost is $150. And get this, having a fiber line connected to your home actually increases the value of your property.
Wow, now that makes it worth it.
And there you have another BTC Tech Tip. See you next time.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Battery and Tire Specialists, now even bigger and better. We carry the largest selection of quality name brand tires, batteries, and lubricants for automotive, marine, and heavy-duty equipment with long-lasting batteries like Duracell, AC Delco, Premium Power, and Decker. We also retail and wholesale large selection of Valvoline motor oils. Come on in and visit Battery and Tire Specialists and the new 5-Bay Wheel Alignment Center at the junction of 7th Terrace and East Avenue, Centerville. Or call us at 242-328-0486. Battery and Tire Specialists. We keep you moving.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Kelsey Johnson. Welcome to Sports Wednesday. The earlier losses to the U.S. Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, and Canada will not affect the Bahamas' chances of qualifying for the second round of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Here's Amajal Knowles with how they can net a spot in the next round.
Swing for the Bahamas' men's national basketball team as the roster has been cut down to 24 as the team is set to face off with the U.S. Virgin Islands later this month in a crucial FIBA qualifier game. First Vice President of the Bahamas Basketball Federation, Mario Boleg.
Men's on the 16th, Saturday the 16th, which is week after next. At 7 a.m. we'll start our practice with the guys that are home. Some players that are home are Kadeem Colby, Shaquille Clare, and then you got some of the locals like Eugene Bain, Deshaun Taylor, Michael Frilly Bain, Abel Joseph, just to name a few of the guys that are home. Michael Carey will also be here to practice at that time. Majority of guys will not be able to beat up with us until like around the 23rd, 22nd, and 24th, when the majority of them will be coming home.
Now with the homegrown talent projected to be a top 3 pick in a matter of weeks, social media has been ablaze with a potential Buddy Hield-DeAndre Ayton pairing, but the question remains, will DeAndre be a part of the squad? When prompted with this scenario, this is how Boleg responded.
Conversation with DeAndre to play. I understand that there's a possibility he will be present to the game, may not be able to make any practices, but truth be told, if he's going to be drafted number 1 by Phoenix on the 21st of June, and then has to go and play for the Bahamas on the 28th, which we all would like. But, reality states, you just signed a multi-million-dollar player. I don't know what the chances are you want to allow that player to go and play for his country a few days later before, he even step on the court to represent the team that draft him. So that is something we got to think about in reality. But if they allow him to play, we would like that.
Also calling on NBA players with Bahamian heritage to link up with the national team was former number 1 pick Michael Sweetballs Thompson, who in a tweet echoed similar sentiments. But according to Boleg, there are certain FIBA guidelines that may make this very difficult.
A lot of Bahamian players out there with Bahamian heritage and background. But the thing is, FIBA only allow each country to have 1 player born outside of that country. If they don't receive a passport before the age 16, only 1 player can play. For example, if I use Eric Gordon, if he's in possession of a Bahamian passport, and even if USA Basketball release him, which I don't think they'd have a problem doing, to play, then that clashes with him, that clashes with Jonathan Farewell, that clashes with LJ Rose, so only 1 of those could play. We have Jermaine Taylor, who is the leading scorer in the G League for the Utah Jazz. he has been, blowing up Coach Moses' phone, wanting to play, and is trying to get his passport sorted now. But because of the rules, if these guys get their passport after age 16, only one of them can play at any given time. And so that still puts us at a disadvantage trying to get all of them on the floor at one time.
The roster is expected to be cut down to 12 in a matter of weeks. Again, the showdown with the UVI is expected to take place on the 28th in Puerto Rico. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Thank you so much, Amajal. The Miami Heat basketball organization, no strangers to the Bahamas, having hosted several training camps right here in the 242. The professional team, which was eliminated in the first round of this year's NBA postseason, plans to make a comeback in the 2018-2019 season.
Obviously, a goal is to go as far as we can and win championships. You know, we've won 3 championships over the course of our existence in 30 years. We made the playoffs this past year. We got ousted in the first round. We were obviously hoping to go farther than that. So those expectations are to go to the second round, the third round, hopefully the finals, and to win championships. That's what every organization's goal is for. So that being said, we are setting our sights higher next year. We have a young group right now, and you know, anything can happen with free agency and drafts and all of that. So we don't know what the team will look like next year. It may look exactly like it is now, but the goal is to just get better every year.
The 5-game winning streak for the Connecticut Sun was snapped on Tuesday night with an 82-77 loss to the Atlanta Dream. Jonquel Jones came off the bench and scored 5 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and passed off 2 assists. She also had 2 steals and 3 blocks in the 24 minutes of play. The Sun will return to the court on Thursday, going up against New York Liberty. Tavario Miller is playing in the Mexican League with Los Mochos, who was defeated on Tuesday night by Novalato 87-72. The Miami basketball team is not the only professional squad that's looking to make the Bahamas their home. The Washington Redskins, one of the top teams in the NFL, is also ready to practice in the Bahamas.
We have the Washington Redskins legend. We call it the Doug Williams Celebrity Weekend, sponsored by the Washington Redskins and the Ministry of Tourism. And it's going to be a 3-day stay. And it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. They're going to have a number of their fans and executive. They're going to come in for a 3-day of big welcome reception, celebrity golf tournament, football camp for about 100 local kids, and have a lot of giveaways, footballs, T-shirt, etc. And then they have a dinner cruise. They have a sightseeing also included, and then they depart on Sunday.
The Bahamas is into the Americas Zone 2. The team was promoted on the weekend after prevailing with an 11-1 win-loss record. Jody Turnquest spoke about his experience while playing in the tie in Costa Rica.
First match was a little bit of nerves, but as the second and third one went on, I started to get more comfortable and more used to the environment, and glad still to have them by my side to push me through. I believe that we performed very well. I'm glad to be out there playing with Marvin, Baker, and PJ by my side, and it was a good experience.
Player captain Marvin Roll was a part of the double squad that won the decisive match against Costa Rica. Roll teamed up with Philip Major Jr. to defeat Jesse Flores and Julio Sabario for 6, 6-4, and 6-3.
It was a great performance, you know. We had some good supporters. They came down, and the guys were ready from the jump start. We played Honduras first day. We got the 2-1 victory. Second day we played Antigua, and then rest day on Wednesday. Thursday played Jamaica. Friday played Bermuda, and finals against Costa Rica.
The South Andros Regatta and Homecoming is in the history book. The annual event held this past Labor Day weekend was well attended. Chairperson Carolyn Stewart gave the event 2 thumbs up.
I feel like the regatta went really well. The sailing was excellent. The weather was good, and it worked with us. And I think the sailors had a really, really good time.
The regatta was a smashing success. Stewart believes that more support can be shown in the day, especially since there are activities held throughout.
That's the whole idea, but boats, have a good time. But we hope that they'll support the function itself so that we'll be able to have this continuously. Because what happens is if persons come home and they don't support the function itself, which is the regatta, then we may have a problem paying the bills, getting the finances sorted out. And so it's a plus and a minus. We want them to have fun, we want them to enjoy the island, but we also want them to understand what is the overall concept that we are trying to put across here.
Live streaming has now become a big part of regattas in the country. It not only provides persons onshore with an excellent view of the races, but gives persons who are not able to attend an opportunity to watch sloop sailing. The initiative was launched for the first time at a Family Island regatta on the weekend at the 51st Long Island Regatta.
We learned an awful lot from the technical commentary on tacking and all of the jargon that is connected with regattas, and we've had comments from around the world from people who've been watching, who've been learning about sloop sailing in the Bahamas. And so, my brothers and sisters, sloop sailing is the only sport that has a direct economic impact on the communities that host them. For many, this is the biggest week of earnings for the year. But socially, regattas are an important way of bringing the diaspora back home.
Coach Laszlo Borbelli has made the necessary adjustments to the workout schedule for the country's water polo squads. Borbelli is planning for the team's debut at the Central American and Caribbean Games.
First of all, we're doing very heavy physical work, a lot of push-off land work which shows on their shoulders, muscles are building up, and obviously the swimming, I see that their fitness in the water, the stamina to swim up and down improved a lot. Now you have to know that in that level, the pool gonna be 5 meters longer. We don't play in 25-meter pool anymore. We're gonna play in 30-meter, which sounds like nothing on the land, but swimming 5 meters more to attack, then swim back 5 meters more than before to defend is a lot of work, a lot to adjust at that age.
That's all the time we have for sports. I'm Kelsey Johnson.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
A flat screen or a fishing excursion, a gas grill or a GoPro. Win these great gifts for your dad. Just buy Gillette razors and shave products and enter at Pritchard's for your chance to win.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. Making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day, the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you. And staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock, and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
Buy Pampers and you can pin it to win it. Guess how many diaper pins are on display at Pritchard's? You could win up to $2,000 for the closest guess. Buy Pampers and pin it to win it today.
I dreamt of you as a little girl. I didn't know if I would ever find you. But I knew it from the moment I laid eyes on you. That you were perfect for me. Today, I marry my best friend. Today, I marry you. I began my happily ever after at Platinum Bride Couture.
Bounty and Charmin will have you winning and grinning.
Yes!
Buy these products and enter to win these prizes.
Nice!
Win and grin with Bounty and Charmin today.
Together, we laugh more. We discover more. We dream more. Together, we connect more. We cheer more. Grab life by the bundle and fuel your passion for your favorite things. Enhance your entertainment experience with Flow Evo, internet and home phone in one simple package. The hotter the bundle, the more you get. Grab life by the bundle with BTC.
Well, it's quite interesting how Bahamas Faith Ministries developed. You know, Dr. Monroe was a tremendous visionary. And I came into the picture, basically, I always say that I was an outlaw. I said when we started out with 3 preachers and a gangster.
He wanted to make Dr. Monroe president of the university.
And that's Oral Roberts University in the U.S.
Dr. Monroe said to him, I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. I have to go back home to my people because I have a vision for my people.
He introduced me to his new friend that he met at Oral Roberts University, which happened to be Pastor Richard. They left Nassau at Christmas, they went back to school, and Pastor Richard and I started corresponding to each other. And that is really how our relationship began.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we're now 6 days into the tropical cyclone season, and it is wonderful to report that the tropics is quiet, but that's not going to remain that way, so do be prepared. As far as what is concerned locally, it's been influenced by 2 systems. First of all, we have this low to mid-level trough just to the south of us, and then to the north, we have a frontal system which we expect to stall across southern Florida. That will keep us into the warm and buoyant sector, and that coupled with that upper level trough will certainly enhance some lifting, and that will create pockets of showers and thunderstorms right into Friday morning thereafter. Things should clear up a bit for Saturday. Tonight, we're going in for mostly cloudy conditions with spotty showers in the northwest and central parts of the country. Low temperature getting down to 75 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy with some cloudy intervals, pockets of showers, and even an isolated thunderstorm or two is very likely. High temperature tomorrow, 88 degrees. Extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. We're going to keep showers in the forecast, as we said, into Friday, drying out a bit on Saturday for you, but the rains will once again return on Sunday, and with showers and thunderstorms remaining in the forecast. So you're going to have a mix of some of the wet stuff and those summer-type temperatures, which are now starting to take root.
Yeah, I was wondering where that rain came from today.
Well, this is summertime right there, so you're going to expect those pop-up showers here and there, and until we get into perhaps late November.
All right, it was a whiteout. It's a happy birthday you want to extend, right?
Yes, from everybody here at ZNS in the sports department, we would like to wish Rochelle. She always gives us the scores, even if it's from the New Providence Basketball Association or the Government League. We're always up to date with the scores, and we want to tell her happy birthday and keep us informed of all the scores, all the latest in basketball in the country.
We also want to give a shout out to our Facebook viewers, Linda Evans, Latoya Moore, Portia Taylor, and PJ Dunn, all watching tonight and dropping us a line. We want to remind you that if you're not near your television, you can always watch us at ZNS News, the official page. And that does it for us tonight in the Bahamas Tonight. On behalf of all of us, thanks so much for looking in. Have a good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.